Hello and welcome. This is Michał Awtoniuk from Warsaw University of Life Sciences in Poland. We are on the last day of second course titled Zero Energy and Positive Energy Buildings Towards the Full Decarbonization. Yesterday we had a lecture about BMS control system and IoT technology. Today we continue our journey into the deepest area of the internet, but Internet of Things. It is very important to remember that. But today we are not alone. Today we have two special guests. Both of them are strongly related to Internet of Things technology. Both of them represents IoT solution company. So let me introduce and warmly welcome our guests. The first guest is Mr. Cyprian Gajda, who is the Chief Executive Officer in the IoT solution company. Hello, Cyprian.
Hello, Michael.
And the second guest, special guest, is Mr. Maciej Zawadzki, who is the solution architect in the same company. Hello, Maciej.
Hello. Hello. Nice to meet you.
It is my pleasure to welcome you. First of all, I would like to thank you for accepting my invitation to our conversation. Our discussion will be about IoT in practice. If you let me to start, I propose to Cyprian make a short introduction to our attendees about the company, about what are you doing, in what field, and what is your meaning of IoT, Internet of Things.
Yes, thank you, Michael, for this introduction. First of all, thank you for the invitation to the participation in this discussion on the Internet of Things in practice. It is our pleasure to, as a practitioner, to share our knowledge. So, making things short, IoT Solution is a company specializing in providing innovation solution based on Internet of Things, IoT, yes, technology. Our products and services enable customers to optimize processes, increase efficiency, and improve quality of life through the cost savings, basically. So we operate in the industry service, in building management, and in agriculture sectors. And our main solution we currently promote is energy management system, which is quite interesting recently due to the situation in global situation. We also provide secure remote management of the company network through the VPN and to provide changes in the parameters of the equipment. We also provide different kind of smart X, so basically smart home, smart buildings, smart solutions. However, we can focus on intelligent BMS, so building management systems. And last but not least, we support crop management. So basically, we help agriculture practitioners to increase the income out of the crops. So going back to your question, like what is IoT? What is the conception of Internet of Things and how we understand this in the IoT solution? We try to provide basically IoT means data, more or less. So if you have any kind of sensor, you try to collect data, aggregate this. But if you collect data, you need to send it through some sort of the network. Usually we use low power voltage networks. Then try to understand what kind of data there is and display this to the customers. So usually customers approach us with the question, okay, we have a problem. For example, there are lots of equipment in the factory, and we try to reduce the costs of energy usage. So we try to collect the information, first of all, from different equipments on the energy usage, how the factory works. Then we send those data to our system. We work on this data to find out where we can find the cost savings, and then we display this to the customer, and customer can have this savings. So this is more or less the idea behind IoT solution company.
Okay. I feel today we are surrounding by data. We have data from every part of our life. Do you in IoT solution limit your activity to some certain sector or industry, or you are trying to provide a solution to your customers from as many industry as you can?
No. Of course, everyone tries to find out the best place of their in the business. So we have basically two main sectors. One is the industry sector. Basically, yeah, because most of our employees and also the whole management is related to industry, small and big. And the other sector, which is quite close to us, and because our origins are in this sector, is agriculture. So that's the reason also why we are quite close in the partnership with Life Science University. So those are the main two sectors that we are focusing. However, more and more we are being approached by energy sector, which is trying to understand how they can reduce or provide more efficient energy management solution. So this is where we find out our niche as well.
Okay. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but maybe it will be interesting thoughts. From some time, for example, factories have a lot of measurement points. And in the past year, they just to measure the things, for example, temperatures, pressures, and so on and so on. But in my opinion, we can see a change in the attitude to the data. It's not only for collecting, but today we want to analyze them. And as your company name, find a solution for optimization of energy and so productivity and many other production area.
That's correct, Michael. Basically, on the beginning, we were just trying to have the data. So we quite often are approached by the companies which were collecting a huge amount of information about how the company works, what are the factors behind. It's all started with basically Mr. Ford, who was trying to find the most optimized option to produce the cars and manufacture. Now we understand that with the data, there is behind any kind of data, there is a knowledge. Of course, how long you torture the data, you will get the knowledge and the answer you are requesting, but that's not the way. We try to understand what kind of information is behind. So where are the upper or lower points where you can find optimized solution. So where is the bigger amount of energy usage, or where is the low volume of production, or how what can you improve to reduce the amount of failures in your design. So everything comes with the information, and the information is data. So currently, with the amount of information we are able to collect, we can have a much better models to understand how we can use the equipment, what will be the best way, and all that leads to basically artificial intelligence, more or less, where people will no longer try to collect and to use data, just try to speak with the data. So that's basically the future of all the Internet of Things and all the industries.
Okay, I will try to stop your vision right now, because we have in the next part of our discussion a point about future of Internet of Things. So if you let, we will continue this issue a little bit later. Okay.
Of course, I think this is the best moment that we can introduce Maciek, who will provide you the presentation about IoT solutions and the IoT and how that's recognized in practice. So where you can practically use IoT and what are the outcomes of this solution. So Maciek, could you please show the presentation?
I introduced you as a solution architect. Maybe we can start from describing your job title. What does it mean, solution architect?
Okay. Thank you for the invitation, Michael. It's really nice to be here with you guys. What's about the solution architect? Maybe long story short, because this is just how to create, how to understand the technology of Internet of Things, how to work with this technology, because we are actually facing a different type of technology. We use a different type of communication types, and there is a lot of different options we can use to create a actually existing solution and working solution at the end. So the solution architect actually create the idea, create the communication, create the whole solution from the measuring, from the control level, from the from any kind of device that works with the environment, with the something we can measure, we can control, and distribute the data and decide and choose the correct technology to work and create the IoT environment at the end to store the data and analyze and present to the user. So we actually focusing on the IoT technology and look from above and see how all the data can flow, can be read and write in any kind of direction. So IoT technology from one point of view is very simple, but we have so many different types of like devices or different type of communication that we have to manage, we have to simplify and create working at the end technology. So
when I first read your job title, solution architect, on your website, I thought about some movie. Maybe you remember the third Matrix movie, and there were a main villain character, and his name was Architect. So maybe it's something like you, but on the bright side.
The Matrix, maybe it's in the future, but yeah, that I think that in a our everyday life work with the IoT technology. I think this is something that we have to imagine and create something from the beginning, because there is no boundaries in the IoT technology. We are actually going into the different type of business. We are seeing the same environment, the same working environment, and start gathering data from them. That's something that we can do as a new. This is something new for us. This is we are facing a lot of data that we are gathering every day, every week, or even every year, and we have to understand and create the architecture of this this network, because we are facing a huge amount of data. So the architect of this data, architect of the technology, must understand how the data flow and work with those components to create the final product, final solution.
You mentioned about very specific, some technical components in this architecture, and very important the relations between these key components. So maybe you can show or describe these key components in the IoT system.
All right, so the IoT technology is something that we understand from many years. Actually, it's been used for the beginning of the technology of the communication between the people. So we actually facing the technology from many years, and we are now at the moment where we want to like explode with that technology. So the basic idea is to start with the measuring. We have to understand what we want to check, what actually we want to, I would say, monitor, and to create like a standard diagram. Okay, so we start with the measuring of any kind of device, equipment, thing, or the process, or whatever we want. Okay, so we start to look at this process and start to transfer the data from this process. Of course, some of the processes are very complex and need much more data than a simple process like, for example, measuring the temperature. Okay, of course, we can discuss more and more about the technology of the measuring, but this is something that we know, we understand. The technology of the measuring is very common. But what actually we get a line of data. We get like a data streaming from the one device that can measure some process, some environment, and then we have to send the data directly to the place when we can gather the data. So we are talking about the cloud solutions. We think about the edge hardware, like a PC, maybe somewhere in location. But we are actually streaming the data, streaming the information from the environment every single minute, every single second, for, I would say, for the end of the living of the device. But what we actually have at the end, we have a lot of very precise data that we can analyze. So after the collecting of the device, we have the analyze process. But in the analyze process, we are actually facing a huge amount of different types of data that we can use to our analytics tool. So we can start from the basic 4 steps, from the measuring, from the sending the data, collecting, and analytics. And that's, I think, the basic idea of the IoT technology. We were facing this technology from the many years, but right now we see the very huge advantage of the using that type of technology in this setup. Okay.
Okay, maybe we can make a short break on this slide and make some more information to our attendees. Your presentation is in Polish, so we can try to translate it online. On this slide, you can see the basic assumptions to the IoT technologies. And these basic assumptions, Maciej said there are four, let's say, pillars or four main functions. It is a measurement, it is data communication or sending and receiving, data collection, and in the last step, maybe the most important, data analyzing. Okay, we can go further.
Okay. So let's go to the next slide for the basic topology of the IoT network. Actually, we understand that the IoT technology is can be used in a different type of communication. We can use the radio communication, we can use the GSM communication, and there is a lot of different wide area networks that we can use to communicate. The one of the very common application that we can use and create the IoT solution is to use the technology of the LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN is quite a new technology as a commercial one, but it was developed very many years ago. But we are actually right now see the advantage of the low power wide area networks. That's what LoRaWAN means. So we can use the devices and transfer measured data for the long range using the very low power consumption devices. At the end, that means we can use those devices for many years, for example, like 5-10 years, and the devices is still on, it's still doing the measuring, but using the LoRaWAN technology, using the LoRaWAN sending information to the gateway is very low powered, and all the information from the measuring devices can be easily sent to our application. So in this diagram, you can see that many different type of devices on the left side can work like in the same time and transfer the data to, for example, one gateway. It's like a central part of the network, and then store the data in some kind of device or cloud solution where we can create that kind of analytics using some kind of dashboards or maybe some kind of application that comes from the BMS. So at the end, we have all the information stored from the beginning of the working of this device.
Okay, on this slide, you present some specific products, devices, and my question is, are these devices your own product as the IoT solution company, or these are a commercial available product from other companies?
Those are products from the commercial shop. You can actually get those products from the distributors, from the producer. What actually the LoRaWAN means, it's actually the community that can every single producer of the device can work with, and at the end deliver that kind of technology, deliver that kind of sensors or gateways to cover some kind of IoT architecture at the end. But this is something that is very easy to get. Most of those units, most of those devices are actually can be buy from the shop, from the producer, from the distributors anyway.
And maybe another question.
Right?
If we have such a model of LoRaWAN network, so we have some temperature temperature measurement and many other devices. So can we mix the devices from one producer with other producer within one LoRaWAN network?
Yes, that's correct. The idea of this technology is to be quite open. Okay, so every single device that can work on a LoRaWAN technology should be able to be implemented in a and work with the different products from the different producers. So at the end, we can create very different application with very different type of measuring with the different devices that we can actually buy or find on the market. So the LoRaWAN technology is very open. It's one of the things that's why the customers, the integrators of those systems, actually why they are choosing those kind of technology, because of the flexibility and and ability to work with the different type of products from many manufacturers.
Okay, that's great. It's a universal solution.
Yeah.
In the middle of the slides, we have a very interesting information that one gateway can work with 2,000 sensors, up to 2,000 sensors. And maybe you can share with us your biggest project, how many points you integrate in your work.
Okay, right now this is something that has to be, for example, defined, because the one sensor doesn't mean that it will have the one, like a parameter or one measuring data or something like that. The one sensor, that means the one device. Every single device with a unique ID in the LoRaWAN network can store or can work with like 10, maybe 20, even more different type of data. So one sensor can send like multiple types of data, not just one, but it can store, it can send multiple different types of measuring. So at the end, we have 2,000 sensors. It's just for one gateway. We can multiply this because we can expand our network, adding additional gateways. And so I think the limitation are very very high, because this is something that we can at the end, I think, expand in any kind of layer. So the LoRaWAN technology allowed to create very huge application that can gather the data from many different types of environment. So, but if we talk about the projects, this is something that it's starting to work in Poland. We have different applications, and those applications are actually in a different segment of business. As Cyprian said before, we start also in agriculture, because there is a lot of different environment, especially in the soil moisture or the temperature or the barometric pressure or any kind of information from the weather that can be very easily stored using the LoRaWAN technology. But right now, the technology is starting to be present in buildings, in our everyday life. For example, like measuring the temperature and the humidity in room, in any kind of place that we actually spending a lot of hours during the day. So we are thinking that the application actually are not finished yet, because the customer, when start using the LoRaWAN technology, they see the advantages of the LoRaWAN technology, implement the first, for example, first step of measuring the temperature, that see that we can measure every single data from their infrastructure, or maybe they plant or something like that. So if we talk about the project, we see that the project are never, maybe I would say that they never stops, because the customers are adding more and more on every single update of the application. So right now we think that the idea of the IoT is expanding, and at the end of the applications, we see many advantages from the customers, and they appreciate about how this technology can be used, and how those technology help actually to live in our environment, in new environment.
Mhm. What is the most interesting for me is that this architecture, this network model is very customer friendly. I mean that you can very easily scale up this architecture. As you said, you can add new gateway, so you can have more and more sensors. But one more things, maybe we can underline this. It is mentioned that the distance between sensors and gateway can be even up to several kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers. I am not sure if we mentioned that the LoRaWAN is, or LoRa technology is, doesn't need a wire. So if we imagine how many costs of the wire for a, let's say, 1 kilometer of 100 sensor will be so huge in this solution. I understand you don't have to worry about this kind of costs.
Yes, that's I think the something that we have to set at the beginning of our conversation, because this was not something that is obvious. But yes, of course, the LoRaWAN technology is the radio technology, and it works on 868 megahertz. So this is something that we can use in open environment, in a building environment, and in any kind of place, because this technology is using the open port on our wireless network. So at the end, we can actually create a long range solution to measuring our data. Okay, so gathering our data. So the basics of the LoRaWAN is to distribute and send data to like kilometers away from the measuring point. So we were doing a lot of tests in this technology in Poland in a different types of environment, and we see that the basic range of the technology in open field is like 15, maybe 20 kilometers. So from the measuring point, like I want to measure the temperature at the end of my field and store the data and send the data over like 5, 10, or 15 kilometers, it can be done. Okay, so this is something that it's never going to happen in a existing network. Like we have Wi-Fi in our our home in our office. So this technology doesn't allow to send the data, but on that range, okay? But what's the difference? LoRaWAN technology is sending very small package of the data. So that's why we can send the data on a long range, but using very small amount of energy. But when we compare to the Wi-Fi, we are using a lot of energy to maintain the radio, to maintain the connection between the devices. But the range is totally different. It's very, very small. So LoRaWAN technology actually allow to create a different types of application. And I think that's the idea. That's the thing of the LoRaWAN.
Okay, that's great. This is the main concept of the network. Can we go maybe for some specific example of your implementation?
Okay, we have. I can present you like a different type of application, because the first application that is most, I think, common right now, because everything is related to the efficiency of the energy, where we actually find some kind of savings on how we can distribute the energy, how we can use energy, how we can use in a smart way the energy that we actually can distribute, can load. So the first application, I think, is the energy monitoring, because in many different types of infrastructure, like the buildings, offices, like a huge buildings with many different floors, the energy is distributed in a huge network. There is lots of kilometers of the cable that can distribute the energy over every single floor of the building. So let's start from the beginning. If we just reduce the cost of the energy, like turning off the lights, turning off the I don't know, the TV, or turning the like coffee machine off where the office is stopped working. In a view of the year, we can save like many different like a huge amount of money at this level. But the second step is, of course, to understand where actually the technology is working with. So if we are thinking that every single aspect of our life needs energy, like today we have this discussion, we are using the computers, we need to turn on the lights because it's dark outside. So in every single aspect of our life, we are using energy. So imagine that if we can, for example, reduce the energy costs in like 1%, maybe 2%, those are a huge amount of money that we can save. Okay.
Scale effect.
Yeah, the scale effect is crazy here. So let's start from the big picture. Imagine like a 20 or 30 level floors in a building, and every single floor there is of course the corridor, and there is a light system on the corridor, and we can actually turn on, turn off if there is no people in the corridor. So every single application that we can create using the IoT technology can cover that kind of problems that we have in a different level of the buildings. Okay, so at the end, we actually see that the potential of using the technology to control, to see, to identify unnecessary usable of the energy. Okay, that's very simple that we can actually do using the IoT LoRaWAN technology. Okay. The second thing is something that we can discuss on a different type of level, because this is something that related to the outside, I would say. Okay, so this is something that is related to the agro. That means we actually harvest many different types of food for us, and if we can create environment, IoT technology, if we can use the IoT technology to create more and more efficient environment for our food, for our vegetables, or any kind of that kind of application that we can deliver to this type of business. Okay.
Okay, so now I understand the meaning of the company name, because there is you have one solution, one architecture, but it is so universal that it really doesn't matter if it is a factory or a apple orchard, or just commercial building, and so on and so on. The idea is very simple: collecting data, transmit without need of wire, and after that analyze and make a proper decision, maybe.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. What actually IoT technology is used for.
And here on the picture on the right side, it is a gateway, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's the gateway. That's the central part of the network. In this architecture, we have the architecture is like a star. So we have one central gateway, and there is a lot of different types of measuring of the soil moisture or the temperature. I think it was in a winery. Okay, so we actually focus on the measuring of the soil moisture, because we can in this environment we understand that the usage of the source, like it's water, it's very problematic, because we spend a lot of water to cover this field, and with those information we actually know where the water is very needed, where the soil is in a bad condition, then we have to water it. Okay, so those kind of application is very common. It's very simple to implement, and the information that we gather are very useful for the farmers. But the same application, actually, the same architecture of this application, we can implement, as you said, in a different type of environment. So we have the central part of the LoRaWAN technology. That means this is the gateway, and we have a lot of different sensors that can actually measure and send the data to the gateway.
Okay, so maybe we can now make a stronger connection to the or maybe not connection, but a return to the building, because our course is about buildings. There is plenty of very popular communication protocol in building automation, in BMS, and Here we have something new, like LoRa or LoRaWAN. Do you know any solution that can integrate the protocol, which is very common in building automation, and integrate with LoRaWAN?
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, there is a lot of different types of integration between the BMS systems and the LoRaWAN. I think the one of the common communication is, of course, the Modbus. It's very simple. It's very common, and it's actually used in almost every single device on every single system. But the other thing is, of course, the BACnet. And the BACnet is a little different technology of the communication, but still, it's very common in BMS system, especially because of the architecture of the how the data is exchanged between the assets, and using actually the BACnet is very simple. LoRa technology also includes like a gateway, like an integration between the LoRaWAN and the BMS. Because of the opportunities of the possibilities of those technology, I think it fits very, very well the BMS systems.
Okay, that's great. Can we move to other example?
The other thing is, of course, the part of our everyday life. We think about the IoT technology, and we see that we have a smart refrigerators, we have a smart televisions, we of course have a smartphones, and everything is around is technology. Okay, so but at the end, the idea of the IoT is to implement also this new technology, this smart technology, into the very simple devices, very simple, small parts that we can see every day in our environment, in our office, in our everything around us. So we can also see that every single button, every single door that can be opened, every single place that we can be can be a part of the smart thing. Okay, can be a part of the IoT technology. So, for example, if we have a huge office, we have a lot of different rooms, and for example, we want to book the one room. We can very simple and see that the room is free because there is no person in it. People actually are located in a different rooms. Those type of technology of the IoT idea, IoT concept is very, very simple to implement. Of course, we can think on the IoT technology as well. For example, in a location that we have to inform someone, like our co-workers with some kind of information. All those devices, all those parts of the IoT allow us also to send the information between the users. So it's not just to see the environment, to see something that is that can we actually work with every day, but this is also something that we can communicate, that we can distribute between the users. Okay, so for example, we have a new concept of the idea of how we can implement the IoT technology. For example, if we have like 60, maybe even more floors of the building, and we have to arrange the cleaning of every single floor. How to distribute, how to arrange the work for a limit of the persons that can do this job. Okay, So we have to gather the data. For example, every single bathroom needs to be cleaned, or every single container from the soap had to be filled with the soap, right? So if you think that we have to send every single person to every single location without knowing what actually is there, we actually generating a lot of work to be done at the end. So, but if we have information that every single location needs to be covered, this work can be done very fast, quite faster, and with the less amount of energy that we have to deliver to this job. Okay. Think about the another process. For example, if we have to empty all the bins, okay? There is a lot of trash in every single bin, but if we have any information that this bin is full, we can send directly the person to empty this bin, okay? But if we don't know this information, our work is quite bigger than we thought, okay?
We talk about very simple tasks like empty the rubbish bin or filled up the soap container. But if we imagine these very simple things in a huge scale, it's not so simple. Mm, by other things connected with this kind of application, maybe you can tell us a little bit more. Is that during pandemia we have I saw some kind of security guy near the entrance to the, let's say, shop, and this guy usually takes a little devices in the hand and just make click click by every person who walked into the shop or walked out from the shop. So his task was to just counting the people. Do you know some solution for that application?
Yes, of course. Like application for counting people are actually common, and it also appears in IoT technology. But I think the situation that actually we faced during the pandemic, it was unexpected for us. So we actually have to use, for example, very simple devices, simple mechanism to feed the situation that actually happened. Okay, so but there is a lot of different type of technology to counting the people, counting any kind of for example, counting the cars, or I don't know. Like, for example, very simple, as you said, feature to count the people walking in and walking out from the shop. That kind of technology, of course, exists in IoT world. I would say it's very also common, but it has to be used in a smart way, of course, because where we want to count, what we have to actually accomplish at the end of the counting. So in a many different situation, we actually gather the data, but what next? Okay, we count the people that walks in, walks out, but where we need to use it? Okay, where we want to use it? Okay, so something that gives us a possibility to gather the data, it's not enough. We have to in some kind of way use this data to explain how it works, why it works, and in your case, why we need to count the people and what actually gives us at the end. Okay, of course, in a pandemic world, that was the idea for actually to reduce the group of the people in the same place, of course. But in a world without the pandemic, why we want to count the people? In a case of fire, for example, we know that no one is inside. Maybe in a case of just marketing, to understand in which hour of the day there is a lot of people actually walking into the shop to prepare, for example, better. But more employees working on the same moment to cover this amount of customers. There are many different types of application that we can use to understand and use that kind of information that we store.
Okay, so we mentioned, I think, enough example, but maybe at the end one more question, because I think we don't talk about it too much. The last thing on the diagram in the bottom right side, you have something like IoT cloud or app or web application. Could you describe it a little bit more? For what we can use it, or maybe who can use this app or web application?
Okay, so the IoT world is quite open. So I think for every single person that is actually interested in that kind of technology can create your own application. But with every single producer of the equipment for IoT, usually comes some kind of application, very simple application to just show, measure, or present the data in any kind of different ways, like dashboards, like a chart, or just the numbers on the screen. We can create a very simple application measuring very simple things from the world. Okay, but those applications, of course, can grow. We can add more and more different type of data, but the idea of the IoT is to, as I said before, to gather the data and store, for example, maybe in one place. So the architecture is in most situations centralized. For this type of application, for this producer I will present on the presentation, the idea is, of course, to connect every single device and present those information in a cloud application. It's available from the phone, so it's easy to, for example, to show the data very simple way from just a smartphone. But if you want to have a big picture, you can use your laptop and view all the information on a big screen. Okay, so that's the basic idea to like end of the application. So that's something that can analyze and view the data.
Okay, so thank you, Maciej, for telling us so many very interesting examples. Gentlemen, we talk a lot about current trends in IoT technology, so maybe it's time to make some forecast how this technology will look like, in what direction it will go.
Michael, so you're asking us to present perspective for IoT. So what will be the future of IoT as a whole, as a sector, as a technology? So having in mind that recently we are looking on ChatGPT or any other AI, and looking on the smart solutions that we can achieve with IoT, basically the first question usually we are asked, and that was basically the last question I was asked on the Things Network conference, was should we apply IoT to everything? Like, what is the limitation? Like, should our table let you know that the coffee is being empty and you should refill it, or should your house inform you that the dog was closed in your house? So this is the first thing that we should consider and think. What are the limitations? How far we would like to go with the IoT? We in IoT solution basically recognize IoT from the perspective of IIoT, so industry IoT, Internet of Things. We think that with the data that we are able to collect and so the information that we are able to gather from the devices, we can help to build neural networks or sort of machine learning solutions that support factories and industry customers with the savings of money, with better decision making. And I think this is the future of IoT. So supporting personal, supporting the customer, supporting the management with taking the decision, just to ask what will be the better, I don't know, production model, or how to reduce the cost of the product, or should we how can we exchange a material in the product. We can provide this information with the information that was gathered during the process, and those data are coming from the sensors, more or less. So I guess the future, the next steps will be faster processing of the data with predictive maintenance, with the predictive information that we can show to the customer. Like if you are approaching to the city, you can ask where is the free spot near to the hotel or exhibition that you are attending, or what will be the best option to provide a higher amount of crops in your vertical farm. So this is a very wide aspect, but for the perspective of IoT, but the new future is decision support solution.
Okay, in my opinion, it's very interesting situation because the new direction of developing this technology is not related to new chances or new developing new features or new chance. I mentioned about chances, but it is related to omitting the threats, because we have in the next day too many data. So our maybe we face some kind of technical wall, because we cannot be able to store so many data.
Yes, correct. Basically, that was recently covered by the OpenAI CEO, that the current approach of teaching models with the amount of data that we are able to collect is not the best way, because there is a limitation of the amount of data that we are able to store. So we should be more precise what to use and how to use, and to teach the artificial intelligence. So basically, the idea of edge IoT, so that the small device can do some simple tasks and just send the results to your main processing unit, and on the top of that you can improve quality of life with IoT. This is basically the future. So IoT in the near 5-10 years will be improvement of life. Yes, improvement of quality of life, helping people to decide, reducing the amount of work that they have to put to analyze the data, and improving the way that we are collecting the data. So instead of sending a person from house to house to collect the information about the usage of water or energy, you will just receive this amount of information. We, as IoT solution, we are also in a circular economy IoT program from the European Union. And there was a case that we were thinking of. If any device or product will be able to send the information about the location, status, and availability, are we able to process this kind of amount of data? How often this should be provided? So these are, like, let's say, issues that are not usually covered because people are focusing on the results, but not on the part where the data are coming from and how they are processed. So yes, the IoT in the future will be also the limitation of the information. Like, we don't want to have IoT everywhere and for everything, because that will be rubbish. That will be basically polluting of the data part. Pollution.
Okay, 100% correct. I agree with your opinion. In data science, we say we have something like a curse of dimensionality. When we collect so many data that the connection between the signals is so hard to find. So the other perspective which you mentioned about using machine learning is for sure true. Okay, so maybe we can move slowly to the end of our discussion, and I think about one topic, because many young people are the participants of this course. So maybe we can draw a
profile of the future
yes,
engineer.
Exactly. You as a chief or organization, what profile would you like to see in the candidate of your future coworker?
Michael, thank you very much for asking this question. Basically, we have recently discussion with Maciej about this. So who will be who are we looking for? Is this a person with a huge amount of information about the knowledge of from the industry, or is this a person that have special skills, like he's a very well educated engineer? So the future engineer is a person that will be able to quickly find the information, be not afraid of fail, because this is not the only way to learn. Be able to find the solution and focus on solution bringing instead of issue. Having a good basic knowledge about the electricity, about basically basic knowledge. We quite often find people that are having a very sophisticated information about the technology that we even don't know exist, but they don't have a basic knowledge about how these things are made. And the engineers should also remember that they will repair usually and focus on improving things that already exist. So without a basic knowledge about how the things are working, it will be quite hard for them to do the job. But I guess Maciej will be able to share some additional thoughts on that subject.
Maybe we can try to point some more technical skills, but which one? We talk about electronics devices, electrical engineering, databases. So the scope of the knowledge is so huge.
Yes, that's correct. The idea of the IoT is very huge, and we see that in every single aspect of this technology and every single level of this technology. If we go into this type of information, there is a huge labor about every single aspect of that. So, but in a case of technology that we are right now, lots of features, lots of options, lots of way to implement is simplified. Okay, we see that the technology is going to be as simple as possible. Right now, we see that the way how we create the applications and the way how we even create the web pages are going to be as simple as possible. That same happen in every aspect of technology, but from my opinion, I think the best profile of the engineer is, of course, to know where to find the knowledge, but from the other hand, the person must understand the world around you. Okay, so we must be educated to know how the things works. Okay, this is something that that it's like a basics of the engineering, basics of the not understanding the technology. You must understand the world around you, the how the things are working and how to to observe to describe the working environment around you. Okay, so that's the basic idea for right now for the engineers to be able to learn, to see, to find the information, to see the process, to see how the things are working. I think from the start, this is something that every single engineer must have. Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure if you agree with me, but let's check it. Maybe it's not the issue of the profile that should cover all the area. Maybe we should not imagine about one-man army like IoT engineer. Maybe it should be just a team of very well-educated specialists.
So this is a very interesting question, or maybe postulate that you have pointed. So in the past, when we are looking on the employees and how the education was made, and we are currently carrying it out, we are focusing on a person that is having a skills for a particular, let's say, work. During the course of history, we have evolved for the people that are able to find out themselves in any kind of situation. So we are looking not for a specialist in one field, but a person which is able to learn fast and adapt. For the future, as Maciej said, many things will be simplified. We have many solutions related to artificial intelligence that will support you building the web page, building the application, building the solutions. So we will focus on a person that will be able to find out the correct information, be able to deal with data, be able to create answer out of the information that the person is provided with. So the person don't have to code well, don't have to know the matter of be a specialist in the field, but be able to analyze the data that it's received through the artificial intelligence. Try to understand, is it correct? Try to ask good questions, and out of that, take a decision. Of course, it will be supported by any other sort of application, but still at the end, there's a person that is making a decision, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think this is the part that that is the hardest. Okay, so
Yes.
made decision, especially when you are new as an employee. Okay, so we are looking for the engineers that
as being able to take the decision is a very, very, very hard subject. Like, people don't want and don't like to take those decisions, be responsible, and it's basically the skill that we are looking for. So the person that is focusing on the solution and is able to take the decision and then be able to bear the consequences of the decision. Yes. So yeah, that's the future, I guess.
I'm not sure if you noticed that, but again, we talk about solution. So IoT solution, and we came back to the solution. So I think it's a good point to make some summary of our discussion. I thought it will be very short conversation, but if we're talking about some interesting things like Internet of Things, the time is running so fast. So to make some summary, we said that this technology is developing and will be developing in the future. Maybe in that way which you mentioned. We have a lot of things to do because all many factories, farms, buildings are collecting or producing maybe more and more data. So we have to transmit, store, analyze, and so on. So I think in the future you will have a lot of projects. So it's a good information to you, I guess.
Yes, I would say yes, because this part of the market is growing very fast. Especially it can fit different types of application. Okay, so we have a lot of place to grow, a lot of place to implement this LoRaWAN technology, IoT technology. So I think yes, in front of us there is a lot of course advantages that we can achieve, and at the end I think it's going to be as a part of improve our like everyday life. Okay, so this is something that we are going for.
Okay, Cyprian, do you want to add something?
I guess that was a very good summary from you and Michael and Maciej. Yes, so we are in the middle of revolution and evolution. The life is no more the same after the ChatGPT and any other artificial intelligence. We are in the course of the history change with the war in Ukraine, so the future is quite interesting. Focus on the data, try to understand the place where you are, and don't be afraid to take the decision and to fail, because this is the only way to improve yourself and improve your life, which is basically the overall idea of Internet of Things and what we are doing, improving the quality of life.
Okay, so thank you for your summary. Well, I'm very grateful that again you accept my invitation. I'm very grateful for so inspiring conversation and discussion. Maybe at the end you can tell our our participants, our audience, where they can find you on the internet. Maybe you have some profile on social media and so on.
Yes, we are at the end of the internet, so if you are looking for IoT solution, you will probably find us. We have a business profile on LinkedIn, social media, as well as we have a web page where you can find us. So don't be afraid to get in contact. We will be happy to assist you with your future project and invite you for the review of your skills and try not to fail. Overall, thank you, Michael, for the invitation. It was a huge pleasure to support Life Science University as always, and I hope we will have a bright future as well in the future to provide better solutions and cooperate.
Okay, that's great. We talk about Internet of Things, but I think we all agree that the things is less important than people. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.
Goodbye.